So in this intro clip, I'm showing y'all the moment that Madeleine's ex-boyfriend pulled out that fire and hit her twice. Shot twice, the Madeleine Reid story. Based on a true story, but I left hella details out to show respect. Detroit, Michigan never whispers, it yells. Between the bass of aftermarket car stereo systems, the clunking sound of potholes swallowing tires whole, and the midnight sirens that echo like lullabies, the city raised Madeleine Reid with grit in her teeth and rhythm in her bones. At 20 years old, the skinny, brown-skinned queen had already learned how to read the streets like a second language. Her mama worked doubles at Henry Ford Hospital as a nurse's assistant, and her dad, she didn't know what that was. Probably somewhere smoking that white stuff on the east side, or maybe locked up again. She didn't really ask. She had her own rhythm now. Work, school, survival. And then came Malik Sharp. He was older than her by 2 or 3 years. He gave off the vibes of a player, her mama said, but he was charming in the way only Detroit hustlers knew how to be. Smooth talking with a fresh lineup and a mind full of sweet lies dipped in honey. He told her he saw something in her. She immediately believed him. She always believed the best in people. That was her strength. And sometimes her downfall. Madeleine met Malik at a corner store on Grand River Ave. She was in pajama pants and a hoodie, grabbing flaming hot Cheetos and a Faygo Red Pop after a long shift at the diner. He held the door, flashed a grin, and said, "You look ratchet, but still fine as hell." She laughed, half flattered, half annoyed at being called ratchet. But that's how it started. Malik had a way with words, and he didn't mince them. He let his charm simmer. A week later, they were texting. 2 weeks in, he was picking her up from work in a midnight blue Charger that he claimed was a Scat Pack, but was really just a base model with an aftermarket exhaust kit. He always smelled like Dior Sauvage, cologne, and danger. By week 4, she told him things she hadn't even told her best friend. Kanisha, he made her feel seen. Not just looked at, but studied, understood. But the thing about Malik was there was always fine print. Little things, small signs. The time he got mad because she didn't text back quick enough. The way he told her that dress was too tight to be out in public. The frown when she laughed too loud with a male coworker when he picked her up one day. Small flags that she folded into napkins and threw away. She wanted to believe he just cared, that his protectiveness was love, that his anger came from fear of losing her. Detroit girls learned early how to carry weight. Madeleine had carried family expectations, work hours, debt, and now Malik's moods. By the time she realized how heavy it all was, she'd already told herself she was in too deep to back out. By the 3rd month, Malik had made himself a fixture in Madeleine's life. He had a clothes drawer at her apartment, knew her work schedule better than she did, took her phone sometimes just to check something, then acted like it was nothing. When she mentioned applying for a job at a marketing firm downtown, he wrinkled his nose. "Why you need all that?" he said, playing with her curls while she sat on the couch. "You're already working, I'm good, we good. What you trying to prove?" Madeleine swallowed the frustration rising in her chest. She didn't want to fight, not tonight. "I just want options," she said quietly. Malik kissed her forehead and mumbled, "Am your best option." That night she dreamt about running, not away from anything, just running, fast and free. When she woke up, he was scrolling through her phone again. "Who's Will?" he asked without looking at her. "Well, trainee at work," she said. "Then they got me training him. I get extra $50 in my check." He didn't speak, just nodded slowly, too slowly. That weekend he didn't come by, didn't text, ghosted her like she did something wrong. And when he finally showed up at her door 3 days later, he had flowers in one hand and guilt in the other. "You know I love your ass, right?" he said. Madeleine nodded because she wanted it to be true, because she didn't know what love was supposed to feel like anymore. But deep down, something cold started to settle in her chest. Malik had a way of making apologies feel like lullabies. A bouquet of roses from that gas station off Linwood. A box of sliders from her favorite late-night food spot. A kiss on the cheek, eyes full of regret. And just like that, the storm would pass. But Madeleine was starting to notice the storms were getting closer together. It wasn't just the jealous questions anymore. It was the subtle control. The where you at text that came too frequently, the pressure to work and kick it with him instead, the guilt trips, the possessiveness dressed up as love. By the 8-month anniversary, he had moved in with her. When she wore lipstick one morning before going to work, he looked at her sideways. Who are you trying to look cute for? Me, she said. Is that a problem? He chuckled but didn't answer, just grabbed his keys and left without a goodbye. She stared at the closed door for a long time after he left. It's not that he hit her. Not yet. That was the line in her head. As long as he doesn't hit me, I'm Gucci. But that line kept moving. Kanisha noticed it first. Oh, girl, you don't even smile the same anymore, she said one day at lunch. Madeleine laughed it off. Ine, I'm just tired. But your tired looked like trapped. That stuck with her. Trapped. Because sometimes even when she was alone, she felt watched, judged, owned. Love wasn't supposed to feel like this, right? Madeleine stood in the bathroom staring at herself in the mirror. The mascara brush hovered in her hand like a question mark. What was she even getting ready for? Malik had bailed on her again, this time with no excuse, no flowers, no fake remorse, just silence. And for once, she didn't feel panic. She felt peace, and that scared her more than anything. The shift had started slowly, the way she started staying late at work, taking a double shift even though she hated her job, hanging with Kanisha constantly without rushing home, listening to old playlists that didn't remind her of him, laughing without checking herself, living in small moments that didn't revolve around Malik. She could feel herself waking up. One night she opened the notes app on her phone and started typing, Malik doesn't let me breathe. I feel smaller around him. He gets mad when I smile too much. I miss myself. She read it back twice, then deleted it, then typed it again. This time she hit save. Kanisha noticed the change too. Oh, you're glowing again, she said with a wink as they walked out of the nail shop one Saturday afternoon. Madeleine smiled. And I'm trying to be. That same afternoon, she blocked Malik on Instagram, not because she was done for good, but because she needed to feel like she had control over something, anything. But the thing about control is, people like Malik don't give it up easy. That night, he texted her from a new number. You good? Then another. You ignoring me now? Bet I'll see you when I get home. Then one more. You think you done? You mine, Maddie. Stop playing. Her hand shook as she set the phone down. She didn't respond, but her stomach twisted with a truth she didn't want to say out loud. He wasn't going to let her go quietly. It was nearly midnight when the banging started. Madeleine sat straight up in bed, heart pounding so loud she thought it might shatter her ribs. Bang, bang, bang. The front door rattled on its hinges. She didn't need to look through the peephole. She knew it was Malik. She'd blocked 2 more of his numbers earlier that day. He'd left voicemails, long, rambling ones, some loving, some threatening, all unstable. Out of a slight fear, she locked their front door before going to bed that night. She tiptoed to the door, heart racing. Her fingers hovered near the deadbolt, but she didn't move it. Open the door, Maddie, Malik said, voice low and sharp through the door. Why you locked me out, bae? I live here too. She didn't answer. Sh0t, I see the light on. Stop playing with me. Still, she stayed silent. Then he started pacing, cussing under his breath, calling her phone again and again. One minute he sounded sorry, the next minute furious. Madeleine grabbed her phone, heart in her throat, and texted her bestie, he's home, I'm scared. Kanisha texted back instantly, I'll call the cops, sis, right now, I'm coming. But Madeleine hesitated. That was the thing. Calling the cops felt like a betrayal, a point of no return. She didn't want to be that girl. She still had a part of her that believed maybe he'd calm down, maybe he'd leave. Then she heard the glass from the window next to the door shatter. He was reaching inside. She backed up fast, grabbing her purse, slipping on her slides with trembling hands. No more waiting, no more hoping he'd stop. This was survival now. She made it out the back door just as Malik got the front door open. From the alley, she watched him storm through their apartment like he owned it, shouting her name, throwing a lamp, slamming doors. That night, she filed a restraining order. But in her gut, she knew paper wasn't bulletproof, and Malik wasn't finished. Not by a long shot. The courthouse was colder than she expected. Not just the air, everything, the looks from the clerk, the silence in the waiting room, the weight of the paperwork in her lap. She never imagined herself here, asking for legal protection from someone she once thought she loved. The judge had been stern but kind, signed the restraining order without hesitation after hearing her story. Malik had no idea she'd done it yet. That was the scariest part, because Madeleine knew men like him didn't fold easily. They snapped.
Sorry, folks, quick commercial break.
That's just like black folks to come on this YouTube thing and look at all these G.K. David movie stories, but don't send no Cash App or even hit the damn like or subscribe buttons. My people ain't shit. No, I'm just playing. I love all y'all. Well, except for them niggas that broke in my Cadillac last Tuesday. Fuck them niggas. Y'all go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button for my boy so he can keep blessing y'all with this good content.
Thank you, Stephen. You're welcome, Calvin.
But fear doesn't need a reason to revisit, it just knocks. That Tuesday, she walked out of work into the fading autumn light. The air was crisp. She clutched her Fear of God hoodie tighter around her and tapped through her texts. One from Kanisha, one from her mom, a message from a random number. Hope you still keep that smile for me. No name, no context, but she knew. Malik had found another number. She stopped walking. Her throat dried up instantly. This ain't over. That truth hit her like a slap. She stood on the sidewalk, the city buzzing around her like white noise, her heart thudding too loud in her chest. That night back at Kanisha's place, she couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. She sat in the kitchen with her knees pulled to her chest while Kira paced. We gotta call somebody again. This is stalking. He's breaking the restraining order. Madeleine nodded slowly, but her eyes were unfocused. Kanisha snapped her fingers. Madeleine, you hear me? I hear you, she whispered. But what if this is just how it is now? Kanisha slammed her palm on the counter. No, you don't live in fear. Not for no nigga, girl. Or not even one you loved. Madeleine looked up. Her eyes were glassy, but something else was there too. Resolve. You're right, she said. I'm done waiting for somebody to save me. The next day, she took cash out of her account, walked into a small self-defense shop tucked behind a liquor store on the east side, and bought pepper spray, a safety alarm, and a taser small enough to clip inside her purse. She signed up for a women's self-defense course, even though her hands shook during the whole first class. And then she did something harder than all of that. She texted her boss and asked for a whole week off. I'm going through something personal, she wrote, and I need help staying on track. She expected judgment. Instead, her boss texted back, thanks for being honest. Take the time you need. You're not alone. Madeleine cried reading that. Not because she was weak, but because she realized, for the first time in months, she wasn't broken. She was still here. Madeleine still didn't go back to her old apartment after 2 weeks away. Too many ghosts in that place. The shattered glass had been cleaned, the door reinforced, but it still felt like Malik's presence was embedded in the walls, like he'd left his rage in the drywall, just waiting to wake up. Instead, she kept staying with her girl, whose 2-bedroom felt like neutral ground. Kanisha's roommate mostly kept to herself, and the vibe was chill. No judgment, no questions, just space. And that space was saving Madeleine's life. She started a new routine. Morning jogs around the block. Therapy sessions once a week at a community health center, where she lied at first, but eventually opened up. She even downloaded a budgeting app to figure out how she could afford to get her own place by spring semester. I just want to feel like I'm not always looking over my shoulder, she told her therapist one day. Her therapist had nodded slowly, calm and kind. Let's start there then, with safety and building a life that doesn't depend on fear to function. It was the first time Madeleine thought about her life as something she could actually build, not just survive. She changed her number, deleted every social media profile, even cut off some friends who still followed Malik or tagged her in old photos. It hurt, letting go of people she used to trust. But she was learning. Not everyone gets to walk with you into healing. Kanisha stays solid through all of it. Look at you, she joked one night as they lay on the couch eating ramen. So I got your little therapy routine, pepper spray in your purse, whole new identity. You CIA now or what? Madeleine smiled, the kind that reached her eyes. Nah, just finally trying to live. Kanisha nodded, serious now. That's the goal, sis. Not just to exist, but to live. But even healing ain't linear. That Friday on her way home from work, Madeleine thought she saw Malik again. Not his car, not a message, him. Standing across the street, hoodie up, watching. She couldn't be sure. It was dark and the streetlights barely worked, but her stomach flipped. Her legs froze mid-step. She ducked into the nearest gas station, pretending to grab a soda, but really just waiting for her heart to stop racing. When she stepped back out, he was gone. Maybe it wasn't him, but maybe it was. Later that night, she stood in the mirror, brushing her teeth, staring at her own reflection like it was someone else. Oh, you're not weak, she whispered. You're not crazy. You're still breathing, still here. And she meant it, even if the fear came back in waves, even if her past kept whispering through shadows, she was still standing. And she was just getting started. It was a cold November night, one of those where the wind cuts through your coat and the streetlights buzz like they're tired too. Madeleine had just finished her shift, hands still dry, carrying plates of food for 8 hours. Her backpack was slung low on her shoulders, earbuds in, hoodie pulled tight. She felt okay, not great. Not fully free, but okay. That was something. As she walked toward the bus stop, her phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Or will you always walk alone now? Her chest tightened, her steps slowed. She stopped beneath a flickering streetlight and stared at the screen. No name, just the chill in her spine. She deleted it without replying, heart pounding. Her first instinct was to call her mama, but she didn't. Instead, she slipped her taser from her bag and held it in her hoodie pocket. She looked around. A beat-up gray Kia Sonata idled at the corner. Tinted windows, engine humming. Madeleine started walking again. Faster now. She made it to the stop and sat on a cold metal bench facing the street, eyes sharp, jaw locked. The Kia rolled by slowly. She didn't see the driver's face, but she didn't have to. She felt him. The next day, she went straight to the police. She showed them the text, described the car, reminded them of the restraining order. They nodded, took notes. We'll look into it, a fat, pockmarked face sergeant said, but she knew that tone. It meant we can't do anything unless something actually happens. That was the game. The system don't care until there's blood on the concrete. Madeleine spent the rest of the week checking over her shoulder, leaving work early, sleeping with the lights on, skipping out on plans. Kanisha noticed. Hey, Maddie, you're slipping back. Madeleine didn't argue. Ain't I know, she whispered. I don't know what's real anymore. If it's him or just my mind messing with me. Kanisha walked over and put her hand on Madeleine's shoulder. If it feels real, it matters, she said. And if the cops won't protect you, I will. Madeleine smiled, tired and grateful. But deep down, she knew the cops weren't going to stop Malik. And neither was Kanisha. There was only one person who could finish this. The house was quiet. Kanisha had gone to her cousin's birthday party across town, promising to be back before midnight. Madeleine almost went with her, but something about the night made her want to stay in, light some incense, catch up on laundry, let her nerves breathe. It was 10:43 p.m. when she heard the knock. 3 slow bangs, heavy, deliberate. She froze on the couch, TV volume low, phone on the charger, curtains drawn, another knock. Then silence. She tiptoed to the peephole, held her breath, no one. The hallway was still. Madeleine's hand hovered above the lock, instincts tugging in 2 directions. Check it, don't open it, run, be brave, stay safe. Then her phone buzzed, blocked number. She didn't answer. Another buzz, this time a voicemail. She hit play, hands shaking. You think I'm gone? I'm always watching. Don't get too comfortable, Maddie. His voice, chilled and low like a snake speaking through clenched teeth. She dropped the phone like it burned her. She called Kanisha, no answer. Called again. Voicemail. Madeleine backed into the kitchen and grabbed a knife. Her breath came in short bursts now. Chest tight, legs weak, mouth dry. She checked the front door again. Still locked, still nobody. But she could feel him near, like heat before a fire, like pressure before a scream. She texted Kira, I think he's here. Please come back. Then she turned off all the lights and crouched behind the kitchen island, knife in hand, phone in the other. Every creak in the house was louder now. Every shadow felt alive. 10 minutes passed, then 20. Still no response from Kanisha. And then a click. The back door. The one that led to the laundry room. She had locked it earlier. She was sure she locked it. A voice, low and angry, spilled into the silence. Maddie, I told you I ain't done with you. He was inside. Madeleine didn't scream. She didn't move. She closed her eyes for 1 second, then opened them, heart pounding like a war drum, and she stood up, knife ready. No more running, no more hiding. She had survived his rage once. She knew what he was capable of, but this time, she wasn't going to let fear be louder than her will to live. Madeleine's hands were trembling, but her grip on the knife was tight. Her heart beat so loud she couldn't hear the creak of his footsteps anymore, just that thudding rhythm in her chest, like her body was drumming out a warning, now or never. Malik was in the house. That fact alone was a betrayal of safety, of peace, of the weeks she spent rebuilding herself. His voice slithered through the dark. You thought you could ghost me forever? Thought I wouldn't find you? That little restraining order don't mean shit to me, Maddie. She heard him moving, slow, confident, like a predator toying with prey. Every floorboard groan was a countdown. She crouched lower behind the kitchen island, tried to slow her breathing. She didn't cry. Not this time. This wasn't fear anymore. It was fury. It was survival. Malik rounded the corner into the small kitchen, his silhouette wide, shadow stretching like a demon across the tiles. He hadn't seen her yet. His attention was on the living room, his back turned to where she crouched. She stood up, silent. He turned just as she raised a knife. Don't come any closer, she said. His eyes widened, like he couldn't believe she had the nerve. Oh, so now you a killer? He laughed, stepping toward her. You think that blade gonna stop me, bitch? You forgot who the fuck I am? No, Madeleine said. I damn sure remember. She slashed at the air between them, forcing him back. The blade caught his jacket, nothing deep, but it shocked him. That pause was all she needed. She ran, not away, upstairs. She knew the layout, knew the second floor bathroom had a lock that actually worked. Malik thundered after her. She could hear him cursing. Then she heard two loud booms as he pulled out a huge chrome revolver, possibly a .357, and squeezed the trigger, hitting her twice. "If I can't have you, no nigga will," he roared. She called 911 as she lay bleeding on the locked bathroom's cold floor, her voice calm but shaking. "My ex broke into my house. He just shot me. Please, send someone. Now." The dispatcher kept her on the line, and she stayed on until the red and blue lights finally splashed through the window. By the time they dragged him out in cuffs, Malik's shirt was torn and his face twisted with rage. He kept yelling her name, kept threatening her, but the officers held him back. One cop, a black woman with soft eyes and a firm tone, walked up to Madeleine and gently touched her shoulder. "You did good, baby. You're safe now." Madeleine didn't answer. She wasn't sure she believed it yet, but she nodded. Kanisha came to the hospital around noon, eyes wide when she saw her best friend. "Maddie, what the hell happened?" Madeleine didn't cry when she told her. She kept it calm, like she was retelling a story from years ago, not just last night. "You know who broke in my apartment last night? I tried to hold him off, but he shot me twice. Cops came. He's gone." Kanisha sat down in the nearby recliner like her legs gave out. Madeleine didn't want to talk about what could come next. Court, bail, retaliation. She couldn't carry all that yet. She was still just trying to breathe. Kanisha looked at her. "Son, you saved your own life." And Madeleine finally let herself believe it. Later that week, the detectives came by. They took more statements, asked for details. She gave them everything. She told them about the previous threats, the time he popped up at her job, the time he grabbed her arm so hard it left a bruise, and she lied to her boss about falling off a curb. She told the truth now, every ugly, heavy truth, because silence is a shackle, and she was done being bound. The nights were still hard. Sleep came in pieces. Every creak of the wood or flicker of headlights on the wall would jolt her awake. Sometimes she'd reach for the knife again, just to know it was there. But each night she survived was a night closer to healing. The writer of this story, G.K. Davis' Nana, had to flee Brooklyn and go up to Syracuse back in the early '70s because of an ex-boyfriend stalker who followed her around town after they broke up. Then G.K.'s mommy had to leave Syracuse for a while after divorcing his stepdad due to him doing the same shit. So this story hit home and had to be told so women who are going through something similar can wake up and get out of an abusive relationship while they still can.
Say,